My name is Sonana.
Awesome. What's that sound? It's cold. It's cold. It's probably cold. Okay? Take on. Okay? Have no food.
Did you share this?
Have some dirty.
Why did you share?
Ready? There.
Lamandam Gumbuan Jamba Yang Chanza Jimien Jindaranam Daras Jishin Sijin Nijin Tukan Malasim Betaram Dozo Bujin Yaman Dunja Yaman Chendro Yaman Legia Chandro Doze Marian Dumai Jinye Chandra Bere Raja Soja Yandem Children, Junye, Jinja, Dalem, and Zen, Jambe, Yam. Sembran devan tandan dirje namaya namba lai kedan lo dan jinge bunda dame inge nandan dua nam jizamba amje ge do so zorin tenji majuna bita dan inge simje tamje nam do teni do ala nam do zo sanji chine jangur sha e chibu ego jimbe shu Tomaji Shubi Nani, जैसे चंजुसिन बिचुबा लंजुबा जैसे शिवा लेंजेबी जैसे चंजुसिन बिचुबा लंजुबा तिनी चुशिन दुसिने यमसुला जोन संबा चंजुचु बिचुबा लंजुबा so before we begin to listening this teaching that always it's important to have a right motivation. So therefore, you need to try to modify it. And you know, when you try to modify it, then first you have to make yourself calm and peace. And from that stage, then you have to think that now I'm going to be listening this Mahayana Sutras teaching, which is composed by Shanti Deva, for the sake of motherly sentient beings, in order to lead them to enlightenment. That purpose that I'm going to listening this teaching, and I'm going to try my best to put into practice in my day-to-day life. With that kind of intention or the motivation, if you listen all these teachings with that kind of intention, then all these listening actions, that whatever you are doing, it all can become the path of Mahayanas, which means exact cause of enlightenment, that which we are seeking. That since we are seeking that ultimate result of enlightenment, and then therefore then we need to make sure that what we are doing, what we are engaging into the actions, that those actions become the right exact cause for it. So in order to make it, then the first step is to generating bodhisattvas, that cultivating that awakened mind is the first step to make all our actions transform or then make it the right exact cause of enlightenment. So therefore, this motivations or the intention, it's always important while you're listening or practicing or whatsoever. And with that kind of intentions, so that now we are here in this chapter number 2. Bodhicharyavatara has a main 4 categories that what do you call show that the supreme altruism or the awakened mind, which is called the Bodhicitta. And Machepan says that whoever doesn't have that within oneself, and for them to have it, that Bodhicitta, that's one category, first category. And after you have it, that Bodhicitta, then it instructs us how to protect or how to maintain that Bodhicitta which we are already cultivating within oneself. That's the second category. And then not just to protect or not just to maintain, and further how to increase or how to improve the Bodhicitta which we already cultivate within oneself, and how to improve that and how to enhance, make it perfect. And that's the third categories. And then so in order to achieve enlightenment within oneself, and these are the three things that if we be able to do it, then all the cost of the achieving enlightenment is completed there. So, and after that, and then dedicating in marriage whatsoever we accumulated through these actions. Then the dedication is the fourth category. So basically, this is the main theme or the subject of this Bodhicharyavatara, as I always reminding you. So you need to know how to condense, although it has a very thick book, but however, all these thick books, main point is to this contain within this four topic. And among this four topic or the four categories, we are here at the first category. That's what do you call it? The persons who doesn't have a bodhicitta within themselves, and how to get it, that awakened mind within oneself. And in order to instruct that, give these instructions how to get in this bodhicitta, then there are three chapters. That three chapters, the first chapter is talking about the potential or the benefit of the bodhicitta. This is something that also, yes, normally we need to understand that, because some things we are going to getting it, and then we need to understand why we should get it and how it is important. So therefore, this first chapter is instructing or the guidance that what are the benefits of having this bodhicitta and why this is so important to have it within oneself. And why it is so important to have within oneself. In short, I can just tell you this: the sixth stanza of the first chapter, as we gone before, that it is saying, virtue plus is weak, and always evil is of great and overwhelming strength. Except for perfect bodhicitta, what other virtues is there that can lay it low? So this is the one. I'm just picking up one potential of the why we need to have this bodhicitta, why we need to cultivate, why we need to generate this bodhicitta. As when we check ourselves, everyday life, that how much we engaging into positive actions, and how much we are engaging into neutral actions, and how much we are engaging into those negative actions. So, in a normal, kind of like a general normal humans, and most of their time, they are spending their time either in neutral actions or say uh, negative actions and or positive actions. So general being a human, that every day of our life, that we have no any other beyond than these three activity to do it. And among the within these three, and engaging into positive actions compare with the engaging into negative and neutral, it is very less. And then, or say, maybe most of the time within this 4 hours, we spend either in a neutral or in a negative. So sometimes these negative actions that our life, our friend, our family, our survival, that force us to engage into these kind of actions. So, however, bottom line is that even within a 24 hours, most of the times we spend on either in a neutral or in a negative. And spending time in a positive as compared with the other two, it's less. So therefore, now we need some very powerful actions which have that power to kind of like lay it law, kind of like a lay it law, kind of like one action can lay it law the hundreds and thousands of other actions. So that now, in order to have it that kind of method, if we have that kind of method within oneself, then we can lay it law. This is something definitely from whatever perspective we consider, we think, then definitely if there are something like that, things which can lay it law all those neutrals and negative actions, then definitely we need it, because this actions, whatever we engaged it, it always comes within oneself, like our own shadow. That shadow, it comes wherever we go, while we are alive or after we're dead. And this 100% sure that always comes after. So if we don't have the method which can lay it low, all this our actions, whatever we committed, the negative and neutrals, then those actions will come within oneself like a shadow while we are alive or after death. And then what happens if we let them come like our shadow, then the all unfavorable result that which we really dislike will gonna occur within oneself. So therefore, how to say, if there is some method which can lay it law over all these actions, then definitely we needed that. And that method here in Mahayana's teachings, providing that methods to us, and particularly here this Shantideva. Shantideva is providing that whatever he did it, and now he is providing that same method, how he himself laid law all of his own those negative and neutral actions. And that method now he is providing to us through this scripture, through this book, that Bodhicharyavatara. Here, as I just read this sixth stanza of the first chapter, as it's saying that virtue thirst is weak, and always evil is great, and overwhelming strength. Why? What does it mean? It means that I just told you. This is what it means. This is exactly, if we examine oneself, then it is not something very secret that we will not know. This is a little obvious. If we don't examine, then we will not notice. If you just start to examine yourself, at how much yourself engaging into those actions. As soon as you start to examine yourself, that this is something very not so hidden or not so not obvious. This is very obvious. If you start to examine, this is very obvious. You will understand easily this. So then accept the perfect bodhicitta. What other virtue is there that can lay it low? So the bodhicitta has that kind of potential. Therefore, we needed that. We need to try our best to cultivate that vacant mind, or the altruism, which has that kind of potential. Some sort of like we can say that one action of this raising bodhicitta within one's mind, that action definitely it can lay it low thousands and 100,000s of our those negative and neutral actions. So definitely we needed that kind of method, and that kind of method, which the potential or the why we need it, it's all explaining in the chapter number 1. And now this chapter number 2, where we are right now. From this chapter number 2, now it's instructing us that, okay, since if the bodhicitta have that kind of potential, then in order to have within oneself, and how one can have it this, how one can have it this within oneself. And then this chapter number 2 and chapter number 3, it's guiding us and what we need to prepare and how one could have it that exact method, which has that potential, can lay it low those hundreds of thousands of actions. And this chapter number 2, chapter number 3. The chapter number 2 is specifically the chapter number 2 guide us in order to have it that bodhicitta within oneself, what we need to prepare. That instruct giving in the chapter number 2. And then chapter number 3, and it gives the specific guidance is how in order to actually have it this vacant mind within oneself, and how one could get it. And that kind of instructions or the guideline specifically shown in this chapter number 3, chapter number 3. So this chapter number 2 is now all the preparations, kind of like it is kind of like a preliminary in order to have this actual bodhicitta. What are the things that we need to prepare to have it? And then here that begins with the method of showing this how to cultivate, accumulate the merit. But basically, we can, how to say, preparation is to accumulate merit and the purified the obscurations. And this is the what you need to prepare in order to have it as bodhicitta within oneself. And in order to accumulate merit, why we need to accumulate merit? It is because that merit is the thing that when we have it, merit within oneself, then it becomes conditions, very powerful conditions for us to achieve whatever we wish. That it can become very powerful, great conditions for us to fulfill our wish. So therefore, the Buddha Maitreya also saying this, Sonam Dembe me Sambanam Yamdrukus, which means that the persons, whoever possess the merit, and the person can fulfill their wishes. In short, this is what Maitreya Buddha is saying. And all the great masters also saying that also this in the what you call the words of my perfect teachers, as Patarun which is saying, Malwa Rivodzam Chibare Swanam Metazam Savanga. And he is saying, how to say, what do you call that? Comparing these two things. In a one hand, kind of like accumulating the merit, the tiny bit, just like the tiny, how to say, meta means kind of like a tiny bit plane. And on the other hand, kind of like putting hardship, huge, like mountains. This is an example that on the other hand, the person who is trying to achieve their wish and putting very much hardship, then in order to achieve your wish, in order to fulfill your wish, for that purpose, accumulating the tiny bit, the kind of like a tiny flame of merit within this too. Even it's better for you to accumulate this tiny flame of merit in order to achieve your wish. It's better than that. So therefore, it is true that we can see even within among us, that we can really see some people who are not really working so hard, but they're getting everything, whatever they want. And then some, they're working so hard, but they are not getting what they really want. So this is not because of hardship, right? That hardship, we all doing same hardship, then why result having different? It is because that whether that person has a merit or not to achieve that their wish. If the person has that merit to achieve their wish, then even without so much effort, without so much hardship, they can achieve it what they really want. This kind of things that they are advising, and we don't need to rely 100% on their advice. We also can see in our life, within our life, we can see that within our friend. We don't need to, find this reference to look some very far history and very far from this country. No. We can see this all happening right in front of us, right in front of oneself. Isn't it true? It is all because that whether that person has merit or not, that makes difference. Effort doesn't make really big difference. It does not mean that you don't need to put effort, okay? Don't take it that as a wrong. It does not mean that now you don't need to try anything. Just pray to Triple Chain. It does not mean that. But however, with the effort, make sure the merit is very important. That's what it is. What it is mean. Then, within just hardship and merit, when if we have to choose, then Padurum is saying you may better to choose the merit rather than hardship. It does not mean that you don't need to put half of the effort there. Okay? So if you have only one choice, then you better to make that choice to accumulate merit rather than hardship. That very strange. Even in our Tibetan way, we have this saying that kind of like that we say this is in a very our common, okay, in our this village talk, this village people that who are nomad, those their advice, they advising their children in this way. They saying, if you don't have butter, offer the butter lamb. If you don't have a tsamba to eat, offer a chop. This is very funny, isn't it? If you don't have a butter, you offer butter lamb. What does it mean? If you don't have a tsamba, you offer chop. It really means, literally it means, if you offer chop, you will get tsamba. If you offer butter lamb, you will get butter. That's really it means. That's really advising that how merit is important rather than effort. Putting so much effort. But these things are little kind of like a hidden, and many people's not really having confidence on it, and really understanding this. But the fact is that no matter whether you have confidence or not, it doesn't matter. As always, I'm saying that whether we believe sun is rising from east or not, it doesn't matter. Sun will rise from east. So, better for us to have a confidence that sun will rise from east, rather than doubting maybe sun will rise from east, maybe sun will rise from south. It's useless doubt. But however, that kind of thing is little hidden, and now when it degenerates, may become more and more worse, and that kind of idea is fading, disappearing, fading. But however, the fact is like that. So therefore, also here in this Bodhicharyavatara, Shantideva, he also guides us, not here. He also advising us, if you really want to cultivate that bodhicitta, then you have to have enough merit to have it. If you don't have enough merit, even you want to cultivate, you want to generate, it is difficult for you to have it. So therefore, this chapter number 2, now is right after this, the beginning of chapter number 2, he is guiding us that we need to prepare to have it in oneself. And in order to prepare, how one should prepare is to cultivating or accumulating merit and the purifying the aspirations. These are the main two things. And here, no matter how much he is showing, it can all contain within this main two things. Showing the one, how to accumulate merit, and the another, how to purify the aspirations. the obscurations which obstruct us to have bodhicitta. Generate bodhicitta within oneself. And then now, in order to accumulate merit, then there are tons of ways to accumulate merit. And now among this many different ways of accumulating merit, so from here, this chapter number 2, he begins with the accumulating the merit through offering. And now within the offering, then he is instructing how many different ways are there that you can engage into offering actions. And basically he's saying there are 4 main different ways of offering. There are main 5 ways of accumulating merit through offering. And within each of those also has a many different methods within it, inside. Okay? The first is guiding, is instructing. There are main 5 ways of accumulating merit through offering. And now each of those one also has many different methods inside. So first, here you say this stanza number 1st here. To the Buddhas, those thus born, and to the sacred Dharma, spotless and supremely rare, and to the Buddha's offspring. Offspring? It's called offspring? Huh? Offspring. No, you have a book. Where's your book? You bought a book, right? And keep it in a butter. Now you look. Are you in the same page with me? Okay. So this first stanza, what do you call it? The first stanza is the showing here. To the Buddhas, those thus gone, and to the sacred Dharma, which are spotless and supremely rare, and to the Buddha's offspring. Buddha's offspring, actually this Buddha's offspring, from here, only including those bodhisattvas. So, but still, we can also include, I think it's not, I don't think it is a problem that if we include those carriers' son, like those, what do you call them? Like a Theravada Sangha. Basically here, this Mahayana Sangha, and among the Mahayana Sangha, actually this offspring is really refers direct to the bodhisattvas who achieve those path and bhumins particularly. And also I don't think it's a problem that if we included those Sangha, could be okay. But however, mainly is this Buddha's offspring, which means here that Mahayanas, that since like we are, preparing to have bodhicitta within oneself, right? And then we can have the bodhicitta from those who have bodhicitta already within themselves. So therefore, and I'm saying this particularly, it refers to those who achieve already Bhumis, the Bodhisattvas, which really can give us a Bodhisattva, Bodhicitta, the vacant mind. So, Buddha's offspring, until here, it is Shantideva is guiding us. If you offer, then to whom you need to offer, and he is guiding. Okay, this is the object that you need to offer to them. Basically, however, that Shantideva he's using the different names, but if we boil down, triple gem, and this triple gem, and among the triple gem here, and this what do you call them? Sangha. That Sangha, particularly those Mahayanas Sangha, especially those Bodhisattvas who achieve those Bhumis and Path and Bhumis stage. And they are more referenced here when we talk this triple gem Sangha. That's the Sangha. So here he's instructing us to them, and they could be the right object for you to try to accumulate marriage through offering. And ocean of good qualities. Now, why they are right object? Because they have this kind of qualities like the ocean. Here, why it is using like this ocean of good qualities? That ocean is the example, actually. The ocean, it's infinite. That it is hard to measure. It is hard to estimate how big it is. Likewise, and the quality of the Buddhas, quality of the Dharma, and quality of the Sanghas are very infinite. Therefore, it is hard to measure. It is hard to estimate. Especially like us, it is much more. For us, it is infinite, definite. Because we won't be able to estimate and just forgot what I said before. Estimate and measure. Yeah, measure. So therefore, this is using ocean of good qualities. They are right object for you to accumulate merit through offering. Why? Because their qualities is like an ocean. And that here, and that I might gain this precious attitude. Now here it's showing the purpose. You need to put the purpose why you offer to them. And this should be your purpose. This should be your intention. That I might gain this precious attitude. Right? And then I make a perfect offering here. I make a perfect offering. That's called the perfect or the pure substance that which you are going to offer. So in short, within this stanza, showing these three pures that Shantideva guiding us. If you want to practice, if you want to accumulate knowledge through the offering, then you need to prepare all these three perfect or the three pure, which are perfect or pure object, the perfect or pure intention, and the perfect or pure offering. So it's now offering the way how to say, we are offering actually. We are offering to Sanghas actually. That when we go to the sea lamas, and sometimes some people doesn't know when we tell them, okay, just prepare some offering and go to him and offer. They think, why I need to? So it is difficult. It is difficult to explain like this all teaching scheme. Right now, I think this is the right time to explain here. Now, why you need to go to the Sangha here? Shanti, they were guiding here, right? And so those lamas representing the Sangha, that among here is among the three perfect and pure, as the pure and perfect object, that now you have it in front of you. Now you need to prepare the pure and perfect intention and then offer. Perfect and pure offer. Perfect and pure offer, none other than just letting it go completely and the offer best whatever you could. That's the perfect and pure offer. Without hesitating, without regret. That's perfect offering. So that's how, when we engage into offering action, offering is also one action, right? And that definitely positive action. There's no reason that we can say this is negative action. There's no reason that we can say this is neutral. Either. This is exactly positive action. But now that positive actions, we need to make it 100% positive, then through this way. Understanding, trying to make all this three perfect or pure. Shantideva, how I hear this in one stanza. This, you see, that's how they consider very scholarly. They will want to put this very nice way within one stanza with very great meaning. When we talk, it takes a very long time to explain what really they mean by this one stanza. So basically, he is guiding us within this stanza, these three things, okay? Perfect, or either we can call perfect or pure. Pure or perfect, right? Object, intention, offering. So the object, as I told you right now, that so now you need to understand why we are offering to those lamas when we are going to them, when we are visiting some lamas. Okay? Don't make it that, oh, this is traditional. This is something I must, if I don't, then my friend will say something about me. And maybe this, if I didn't offer to the Lama or the Sangha, then it is not proper. It is not proper. Don't make it like that. Now you need to understand that how Shantideva is guiding here. And then now you need to keep that instruction in your mind every time. And specifically remind these instructions particularly when you go to visit lamas and when you go visit sanghas, and especially those Mahayanas, authentic sanghas practitioners. Now, do you understand? That's why we need to offer. But I told you, don't make it like this is tradition. Don't make it that, or if I did it, they feel, feeling yourself improper. You don't need to feel like that. I'm not following tradition. This is actually not tradition. This is spiritual ground. One way of accumulating merit. And this kind of things somehow, yes, in Asian, we Asian has made it very tradition. You must. And they don't really have this knowledge. They just bring it. But however, it is still good. It is still good. I'm not saying this is useless. It is still good. But understanding all this and doing, and it becomes perfect, isn't it? Since you are doing it, now better to make it perfect. So in order to make perfect, then you need to understand this. 3 perfect or pure. When you offer, if you don't have it, try to think and make it. Okay, to whom you are going, whoever, the Sangha or the Lama, that to whom you are going, now think, okay, that let's say exactly that person's the quality or whatsoever. Yeah, you may imagine that, oh, I'm going to offer this to the one of Sangha, and especially this Maya practitioner. And especially, and you can add more qualities like what particularly that guy doing, that person. When we say the guy, it is funny, huh? But the guy, yeah. What exactly that guy doing it? You can think all his activity, right? What he's really trying to do. Thinking all these things make you the perfect this object. And then make it the perfect intention. The perfect intention here. Here, actually, the Shandidevas telling us that you may need to have this intention to gain this precious attitude, which is Bodhicitta. In order to have Bodhicitta within oneself, then I'm making this offer to that religion, to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, whatsoever. You can offer to all of them, you can offer to one by one or to them, that doesn't matter. But it's important to make it that intention. Don't go there and offer with the intentions of something that, oh, I might gain wealth, I might gain healthy. You don't need it that actually. The Shandideva does not mean that, oh, if you put your intention to gain this precious attitude, then you won't get any of others this like wealth and freshly healthy and all those. No, these are just there. As normally I'm saying. When we make $100, we don't need to worry about $10 and $20. $10 and $20 are always there. So the putting intention to gaining some temporary wealth and health are like gaining $10 and $20. So putting intentions is to gain the precious attitude. It is like you are focusing on $100. You are making $100. So that's what it means. It does not, you don't need to worry that, oh, if I make this wish, I will only get Bodhicitta and I won't get rest of other. You don't need to worry. The fact, in order to have Bodhicitta within oneself, and yes, these are the conditions. Definitely, we need it. We need health. We need enough wealth to survive. So we can easily generate those Bodhicitta. Why those hell and pretas and animals they are not being able to generate bodhicitta. Because they don't enough the healthy, and they are not enough wealth for survive themselves. Therefore, they are not being able to generate it. It does not mean that we don't need these things, but these things is just, it will come. We don't really need to focus so much on it. Little tiny maybe attention will enough. That's okay. Even if we don't need that little tiny intention either, we just focus on those main goal, main purpose. So why I am saying this? So from now on, when you're going to see some Lama, Sangha and offering, and now you have to make sure that make it perfect or pure intention in this way. Or you can add it like in order to achieve enlightenment, in order to have a bodhicitta within oneself. That kind of intention, if you put it, then that action which you are doing it, for example, like offering to that Sangha, that Lama, then when we put it that kind of intention, then that makes our pure and perfect intention of that action. And then perfect here, third perfect or pure is I make a perfect offering. Yeah. So maybe this stanza, when we understand this stanza, then rest of the other stanza is just not giving all these three perfect. It's all just giving the main, that perfect offering only. So you understood already what other true perfect you may need to make. Right? Therefore, after this stanza number 2 and on, the method is different. But the perfect intention and the perfect subject is the same. But the perfect offering is changing now. And therefore, even I told you earlier, Shantideva is instructing us in order to accumulate merit, and there's a lot of way, and here he's showing the accumulate merit through offering. And within the offering, and he's instructing there are 5 main ways of offering. And even within those 5 main ways of offering has inside tiny many different methods are there. So the first here, I make perfect offering. And this is also now, Shantideva is saying this, the offer which are really belonging to oneself. This is stanza. First, the belonging oneself that you can offer. And perfect. Here, now this perfect, that has a very tricky here. What does it mean perfect now? If I offer $5, it doesn't become perfect. If I offer $1,000, it becomes perfect. If I offer 1 apple, it doesn't become perfect. If I offer 100 apple, it becomes perfect. So you see, this is very tricky. That's why I'm saying here. Shantideva was saying, I make a perfect offering. So now the perfect is the borderline of the perfect. What really becomes perfect and what really not. These things are important for us to understand, yes, because we're doing it this. When we are, that regardless, actually this regardless of religious practitioner. All the people doing at this, they give in. Okay, so however, now here the perfect, where is the borderline? How we understand whether that my offer is perfect or not. So let me tell you this one history that will help us to understand how we can differentiate it, whether it is perfect or not. During the Shakyamuni Buddha time, that while he is visiting those different places, and Shakyamuni Buddha, yes, he has so many sponsors. He has so many supporter, helping him to maintain his own practice and also to run all those monastery and everything. Still, we have some here. Still, that tradition, kind of like, well, let's say that tradition is still going on. And during that Shakyamuni Buddha, while he is visiting some sort of like a different places, and many rich and village people, they gathered there to listen his teaching, his advice. And then one moment, everybody is now time for offer to him. Then everybody making offer. And there are also many different levels of people. Some are very rich, some are very poor, some are middle class. Many different people are there. Everybody is kind of like going to offer him something, whatever. The king and minister of that place, and they offered kind of like a jewel and so many things. And then while this kind of like a ceremony is happening in that place, and there's the old lady, the baker, really poor. And she had it. She baked and she had it, that apple, one apple. And she's eating that apple. And when she ate that apple, almost half she ate it already. And then she saw the ceremonies going on in her village. And she saw the Shakyamuni Buddha is there. And then she thought it. So I have to offer something to him. But now she don't have any idea what to offer because she doesn't have anything. And then she made a decision herself that, okay, so this is the thing I have. Now I just offered this apple, which is already eaten half. And then she went to him and she just offered the apple. And Shakyamuni Buddha took it by his hand, that apple, and ate it among these people. And those kings and ministers, they little feel uncomfortable by seeing that. The person who they pay very much respect. Now that person's eating this very dirty apple. And then they're offering so many different fruits and everything, jewels and everything, but he didn't touch it. And then one of the ministers, he raised this question to him, that since we offered so much here, you have everything here, you didn't touch it so far, but why you touched it and eat it, this apple, which is not clean, dirty, offered by this poor lady. And Shakyamuni Buddha answered at that time, so far I got it, the perfect offer, only this one. Only this one I got so far, the perfect offer. Which means now, that lady, poor lady, doesn't have any hesitations or regret by offering this. And that apple is the best thing she had. That's why it became perfect. You see, we need to understand these things. And by understanding these things, then when we are offering, we can make it that. Offer your best, and when you're offering, without hesitation, without regret, just completely letting it go. Not doing some sort of like this kind of funny things is happening. That what do you call it? I think one time this, I think this Jongsa Chenze, he's saying that somebody offered him, I think I have heard this watch, kind of like a fancy watch to him. And then after a few days, that watch is wearing by somebody else. Because he gave it to that person. Somehow, I don't know who is wearing this watch. Maybe one of his monk is wearing it. And then after a few days, that person who offered this watch come to him and say, I offered this to you. And he said it this, I think some on our teachings that I am not the what do you call it? I'm not the taking, what do you call it? I don't know how to call this. I'm not your taking care. No, I don't know. Say this. I am the not person who take care of your thing. If you wanna control like this to me, this is same thing that I'm just taking care of your things. So which I don't like to take care of your things. After you offer, that's not your. Why you either he give to somebody or not, that's not your business. When you offer things with that kind of hesitation, that kind of regret, that makes the imperfect offering. Here, Shantideva is saying, I make a perfect offering, right? That's the meaning, perfect offering. Perfect offering is the best and without hesitation and regret. Completely letting it go. Once you offer it, after that second, this is not yours anymore. Now don't try to control it. To whom he or she gave or not. You did it, your purpose. Now let him do his purpose. He is also accumulating merit by giving, isn't it? So the one thing, two people got married. One watch. He accumulated merit to offering to him, and he gave to somebody. He himself accumulated merit by giving to somebody. And maybe that person will give to somebody. But however, now here, perfect. Why I am saying all this? Because of this perfect, the word perfect. And how now we have to differentiate whether it is perfect or not. So the perfect or not, it's really not depending on number. It's not really depending on bigger or smaller. Okay? That we need to understand. It really doesn't matter number. It really doesn't matter small or big. It matters with the way you offer. It matters with the way that it matters whether it is your best or not. The history just I told you about this poor beggar lady. That is her best. Yes, absolutely. That so far all this king, minister, and the businessmen, whatever they offered to Shakyamuni Buddha, the fact that is not really their best. Not really. Maybe they have same thing what they offer to Shakyamuni Buddha. They have in their storage hundreds and thousands of them, maybe. Right? They store it in. It's not really their best. And the best also can, you can make it by whatever you can letting it go. That also could make best too now. Also not necessarily now you have to offer 100%. Okay? That whatever right now you can let it go. And that also can become your best too. Right at the moment, whatever you feel comfortable to offer. But however, the main perfect meaning is that best and without hesitation and regret. That makes it perfect. Doesn't make number and huge and small. So mainly, however, within this first stanza, it also really guides us in order to accumulate merit through the offering. Then you need to make sure all these three perfect or the three pures are there in your action of offering. Okay? Now here showing the best of the best. Here it doesn't include your friend and parents and relatives and neighbors and countries, right? Here doesn't include, because right now, actually here, this is what we are preparing to gain the precious attitude. Fact, precious. Actually, this is mainly we are offering to to take a bodhisattva's vow and like a bodhicitta. Now, in order to do that, we need to offer to the right persons who have it in themselves. So therefore, the Jivajji. But beside that, even you offer or the gift to your friend and anything, the object is not good as a triple gem, but still you can make it another true perfect intention and a perfect offering. Still there. So when I'm saying this object is not really perfect, it is comparison. What called? Comparative. It is comparative. Okay? It does not mean this is not per se perfect at all. When it compared to the object of triple gem, then that becomes little down, low than the object of triple gem. But Shantideva here only giving us the object triple gem. Why? I told you, because of this right now, we are preparing to receive the Bodhisattva's vow. So we need to offer to the object who have this Bodhisattva's vow, which is only triple gem. And Sometimes it also can become our parents. They are maybe Sangha. Our friends, they are maybe Sangha. Our relatives, our neighbors. They are maybe really Mahayana practitioner. They could be also really Bodhisattvas also. Not necessarily that, oh, my parent is not Bodhisattva. My friend is not Bodhisattva. Not necessarily. If your parents is Bodhisattva, perfect. It's more easy to do it. Much more easy to not hesitate, right? Not regret. Okay, so within this stanza, mainly giving these three ideas. These three ideas you can apply to every offer, okay? Every offer. And this is also, this first stanza is really showing that whatever you actually possesses, and whatever things you belonging to yourself, then that offer. The one way of accumulating that through offer. Among the five main ways, the first way, and within the first main way, and within the first main way, he also differentiated three ways. The one first is offering that what exactly belonging to oneself. And now from here, this is stanza number 2 to stanza number 2 to stanza number 8, all those 7 stanzas. And he's guiding us to offer something. You can still offer something that which is also not belonging to yourself. Like there's no owner. This is very tricky now. Nowadays, every single trees and land, they marked it. This is mine. Even this road is now become very strange. Even we're lying in the ocean. This ocean is mine. This ocean is yours. Very crazy. You know? Now it seems, in one way, it seems like there's nothing that you can offer that nobody possesses. In this world, now there's nothing that possessed by nobody. But Shanti Deva time, it is not like that. There's many things not possessed by anybody, not belonging to anybody. Kind of like what do you call it? Publics, general publics things. Maybe here we do have some sort of hyper public things, right? We can offer that. One tree, part of the tree may be belonging to me. I don't know. But however, this is really different than the Chandideva standard now. But however, they just make it. It not really doesn't matter by that just making it really becomes there. From stanza number 2 to the stanza number 8, he is guiding that even such a things not belonging to anybody, not belonging to you, but you still can use those things to accumulate knowledge. To that perfect object with the intention. Here how it is going. I offer every fruit and flower, every kind of healing drafts. Draft? What is that? Draft? Drink. Oh. Water? Any kind of juice, milk, water, wine maybe. Huh? Okay, so I offer every fruit and flower, every kind of healing dart, and all the precious gem the world contains, with all pure water of refreshment. See, there's a many rivers not belonging to anybody, but nowadays we make it all water. This until this river it belongs to me. Even trying to process those rivers. But rivers is actually small, as I already told you. Even trying to process those ocean, we have this American, Canadian ocean, right? Canadian ocean, American ocean. In America also process many different oceans, right? They say they own those. But however, I think we can make those offer. Whether they process or not doesn't matter. We can just make offer. I can tell you this friend, this practice, Ray, our Lama Pastor does that. Did you see that? Everywhere we go, whenever he sees some mountain, beautiful mountain, he says, he just makes this mandala and offer. And even when he sees this, when he comes to the city, when you see the many different lights and car lights and the light on the road, and he just making this offering mandala. You see, that's how you can offer it. Yeah, this is exactly Shanti Devaki is here guiding us. And you can do this. You can accumulate merit by doing these things. You see, now, if you really know the tricky how to engage into a spiritual path, there's no really restriction. You can do everywhere, anytime, with a different substance. Sometimes flowers, sometimes mountains, sometimes river, sometimes ocean, sometimes light, sometimes city itself. Really, Vajrayana method, mandala offering, we're really offering the actually word, universal. If that can done, why we cannot offer city? City is a very tiny part of it. So from here, it's not difficult to understand, right? So that all these things I make it perfect offering. That you always add there. I make it perfect offering. Make it this perfect with the perfect intention to the perfect object. And every mountain, world of precious jewel, all sweet and lonely forest goes. The trees of the paradise adorned with the blossom, trees with the branches bowed with the perfect fruit. We have this apple tree behind our backyard. See? Same here, isn't it? Trees with the branches bowed with the perfect fruit. Fruit, when it grows, it makes weight, and all the branches will bow down. Right? And then the perfume, fragrance of divine and other realms. That also Lama Pasan does when we go to the shopping mall. In shopping mall, there's some fragrance store, right? He just maybe that's really owned by somebody, isn't it? No? But he does that. This is funny, but it is really good, I did it sometimes when I travel with him. I'm not just saying with him, I just rejoice what he's doing. He does that always. When whatever he saw some very nice, and he just go like this. This is very good actually. Good habit. That while you're walking, looking At the same time, you also accumulate in merit with the talking, with the walking, with the enjoying the environment. That's very nice. And that's exactly Shandideva, he is guiding us that you can also accumulate merit by doing that too. Not to necessarily only offer what you really possess. You can also offer that things which not belonging to anybody. Or maybe things that which belongs to public. And the legs and mere adorned with a lotus, delightful with a sweet voice. What is that? Huh? How can I pronounce this? Crease of water butt, right? Water butts. What does it mean? Crease of water butts. Cries. Cries. Oh, cries of water butts. What? Sweet voice. Cries of water butts. And everything unclaimed and free. Extending to the cries. Don't offer that. Cries of water birds. This is not water birds, right? Water birds. Water birds. And everything unclaimed and free. Unclaimed. What does it mean, unclaimed? Not belonging to anyone. Not belonging to anyone. Unclaimed and free. Extending to the margins of the boundless sky. I hold them all before my mind and to the mighty sage, the greatest of our kind, and to his hearers, I make a perfect offering here again. This three perfect is coming here too. Sublime recipients, compassionate Lord, O think of me with love, accept these gifts of mine. Accept these offers of mine. Right? Offers of mine. And then for the destitute of merit, I am very poor. I have no other wealth, and so protector, which here the protectors refers to Chukwujim. Okay? So protectors, you whose wise intentions are for others' good, in your great power, receive them for my sake. It's until stanza 7, until here. This all stanza number 2 to stanza number 7, it is showing that unclaimed or the unpossessed things you can also offer. Through that, you can also accumulate merit. There's also a way to accumulate merit for yourself, in order to have always sit down within oneself. That way, you can also prepare by yourself. For destitute of merit, what does it mean? For destitute, poor, who's poor? Without having a merit, I am very poor. So I have no other wealth. So therefore, I'm offering all the things that which not belong to anybody else. So protectors, you whose wise intentions are for others' good. Yes, absolutely. They are always in your great power. Receive them for my sake. That way, you can also have marriage. So this is instruction. Now he is guiding, he is giving the method. This is all he is giving method within an offering. Within an offering, that's how you can offer, how you can marry by offering. Okay? Okay, so maybe we stop here. So if you have a question, we can discuss. These are nothing very difficult to understand, but it is very important that since we are doing it, we are engaging into that kind of offering, then it's better for us to understand exactly how one can make it our offer perfect. And our offer with the the Mahayana path, our that offering actions also can become exact Mahayana path. That these are the idea that Shantideva was guiding us. That if we utilize our action of offering itself is also become the cause of enlightenment, the path of Mahayana. That way we can also make it ours. This itself is also a spiritual practice. Okay, so if you have a question, we can discuss.
We were instructed to offer the practice, then when you dedicate, it's already like generating bodhicitta, doing this for the sake of all sexual things. But the instruction here is doing this in order to have bodhicitta. It's slightly different. So which one should
Yeah. So after you generate bodhicitta, then you're doing all this for achieve enlightenment. Right now, Shantidevas, the person, this instruction is based on a person who doesn't cultivate bodhicitta yet. Now, for them to cultivate the bodhicitta within themselves, and then that bodhicitta will become their main purpose. And when you cultivate bodhicitta, enlightenment is just there. Yeah. With the enlightened, when you generate bodhicitta, you're definitely going to include enlightenment. That's where you need to aim. When we generate bodhicitta, that's your final destination. That's where you need to aim all this what you are doing. The purpose of that aim.
My question is more like now that we have finished the teaching, I want to dedicate, let's say, may this merit help me generate bodhicitta, or I go to
Yes. If you are not cultivated yet, then you may dedicate in this way. If you are cultivated bodhicitta already, then you can dedicate this matter for the enlightenment.
then where's the boundary? How do I know that generate?
Yeah, that's true. But how you generate bodhicitta or not, that will guide us in third chapter. Third chapter, Shantideva tells us how to take it bodhicitta. And when you follow all this instruction process, and at the end, that's the moment that you receive bodhisattva's vow. Just like a refuge vow, how we take refuge vow. We're repeating 3 times, and end of the third time, we need to raise that sense that now I received the refuge. Wow, right? All these spirituals has to go really with the mental. So not as such things that I can give. Okay, now as long as you have this cup in your hand, you have bodhicitta. If you broke this cup, you broke Bodhicitta. It's not like that. Yeah, dedicating for the enlightened with the dedicating merit to gain Bodhicitta, you can do both. Why not? You don't need to stuck with the one. You can make many different aspirations. Good. We go lunch. I'm hungry. Okay. Yeah, now we dedicate. Sunam de Amje Zivani, Pumneni, Viendanam Amje, Chegan Amje, Valam Tupali, Sibe, Doa Doa Shu, Jambal Balu, Jidra Kembanda, Kodo Sambo, Deyan Deshni, Deda Kunje, Chesman Lava, Gewan Ditan Amje, Ratu Mo, Gewan Shio, Sunam Yishi, Soto, Sunam Yishi, Litro. Amba Kuni Babarashu Sanje Kusumi Chena Chuni Chena Gendir Dumbe Chena Jidara Mohana Dumareshu, which is in English. Now,
But this benefits are cheap.
may I obtain omniscience and having vanquished the harmful enemies, great anger, delusion. May I live with all beings, trust about heartlessly, like the waves of good, aging, illness, and death in the ocean of God. By attaining to the knowledge of purpose, Manjushri, Jaivalya, and in the same way as Sandhavatra, Kundusanga, and following their example, I dedicate perfectly all this virtue. By this virtue, may all be perfectly achieved the accumulation of merit, suna, and wisdom, yeshu, and may they thereafter obtain the two body virtues which result from these two accumulations. By the blessing of the Buddha Sangha, who obtained the three bodies, by the blessing of the immutable truth of the Dharma, by the blessing of the infallible aspirations of the Sangha, may this prayer of dedication be accomplished just as it is. Thank you.